Back on to Bob today. It's time to get it painted. Got Key in here pulling the doors apart.
We got that one tore down, and I just got started on this one.
Yep.
It needs, I don't know if anyone's noticed, this orange doesn't match that orange and doesn't match that orange.
Yeah.
So the skins are getting repainted today when we touch up that bedside.
Yep. When I get up to Kendall's today, we'll pull the doors off, but we'll leave them on to transport. We'll have to pull the top off, and then we'll also remove the tailgate to make it a lot easier to mask. But yeah, it's been down quite a while. I think I started fixing the bedside back in March.
It's been almost a year since it was all good, because it was last October.
Yeah.
When you smashed it at Trail Hero. So.
Yeah. Yep. Oh well, part of the fun. Better than having it sit. So it's definitely past due to get it fixed up and get it back up to 100%. Got this molding off of the door. Probably noticed in the pictures that these moldings, quote unquote, are bolted on. I know they kind of look fairly original, but what they actually are is a 1/4 inch by 4 inch aluminum strap that I put wood grain tape in and then painted them to look real similar to the factory moldings. And what these do is when I rub a rock or something down fairly low, these protect them. The rear ones there are the ones that usually get pretty heavily used. When I put them on, I put a strip of double-sided tape on both sides to kind of stick them on the edge, and then that helps the edge of the aluminum from digging into the paint. This molding's probably been on this door for at least 5 years. As you can see, there was really no dirt behind the molding, under the molding, so that's the other secondary purpose, is to kind of help keep as much crud from building up behind it so it doesn't rust out. Then on this side, when I pulled the molding off, the weather strip adhesive that I put on the back side to kind of seal up the hole stuck to the paint so good that it actually pulled the paint and everything right off of the bedside. Normally that doesn't happen, but I think when I put this molding on, it was only like a couple of days after this bedside had been painted, so paint was still really soft, so I think the solvents in the glue attacked the paint and stuck to it really well. So I'll have to fix that before we repaint this bedside. What are we up to today? Okay, well, we made it up to Kendall's, so we got the passenger side door off. I'm gonna pull this driver's side door off, get those prepped and ready to paint for tomorrow. Thought I'd show you a little trick for getting these doors off, since I end up doing these by myself most of the time. I use this stud right here. So it's a fine thread stud to match the fine thread in the door there, so I put that on. So then I've already got the bolts out of the bottom, so I'm just holding the door on the weight on the door. Okay, last bolt. So that stud helps hold it in place, and then I can slide it straight out away from the fender and not risk damaging the paint on the front edge of the door or the paint on the back edge of the fender. So works out really slick. So I take these doors on and off constantly. I have tube doors that put on it, so most of the time it's late at night and there's nobody around to help me. So I think after we get these doors painted, they'll just go on the shelf and we'll put the tube doors on for our next trip. It's definitely more fun to drive with the tube doors because I can actually lean my head out and see the fenders and see what I'm about to destroy. So got that panel re-guide coated, ready to go. And then I just feathered those bad spots out a little bit and put a little bit of filler on them. I'll sand those. We're not going to make it anything too special since they're covered by the molding anyway. So it's just mostly to appease my OCD than more than anything. Kendall and Kenner helped me get a lot of this stuff prepped. So we got the doors ready to go. So we just got to blow them off and mask them up and they'll be ready to paint, both of them. And then this bedside, we decided it'd be better to reprime it rather than seal that spot. So it's all primed. We just unmasked it. So I just got to go clean the gun. And I think I'll head home. It's date night. So, and we'll come back up first thing in the morning, prep this. Kendall will do his magic on it, and it'll be all nice and pretty orange again. Yay! Yep.
That's a good idea or not?
Yeah. Back up here at Kendall's. He got up here way earlier than I did, so he got this bedside all prepped and got the finished prepping the doors. So now he's going to pull it into the booth and we'll get going on it.
I think it's colder, we'd have burnouts.
We're gonna have burnouts anyway.
Dad won't do it, but I will.
Well, I got everything cleaned up, got all the masking tape on, ready to mask it up. So we got the plastic pulled, get ready to mask everything off. So we won't use much paper, mostly just be this plastic will stick directly to the masking tape that we have pointing up like so. So that plastic will stick really well to it. And we just take a razor blade, go around the edges, cut out the spot where we're going to paint. So the rest of it will be covered in plastic. So, all right, Kendall got it all cocooned up, ready to wax and grease and mix up some base. See if we can make all this stuff the same color. All right, Kendall just got done spraying base. See that it's still wet, so looks good. Bedside looks good. Hey, look at that. It's almost straight-ish. You don't look too close. But it's straight.
It's good.
Wow.
It's nice.
It's actually better than it was after the last time, so. Yeah, it looks way good. It's probably gonna be another 20 minutes before he can start spraying clear on it. It'll be good to actually have the doors match for the first time ever. All right, Kendall got the clear put on it. Looks pretty dang good. Bedside turned out good. Yep, looks way good. Doors all look good. So, time to unmask it. We'll be ready to take it home in the morning. So,
Take it home tonight.
oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Cool. Kendall pulled it out of the booth, put the doors back on it. It's ready to put on the trailer and head home. Ready for another round of abuse. Because Kendall just loves spraying orange.
It's my favorite.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
Since this video's all about Bob, I figured we'd, what about Bob anyway? We would do a brief history on Bob and how this Blazer came to be part of the Carter family. And it is a big part of the Carter family. It all starts back when I was a little kid. My dad always had these 72s. My favorite one growing up was his orange 3/4 ton, so orange. I ran across this Blazer, a coworker had it, and I picked it up for $1,500 back in 2002. I kind of put it together, clobbered it together the best I could for what little money that I had. When I bought it, I had a 350 and a 4-speed. Put some 37s on it, re-geared it, built a basic roll bar to put in it for our first trip. Turned out we really liked this Blazer a lot, so in 2006 painted it orange, and we used it even more. Took it to Dumont, took it to Moab, Kanab, southern Utah, just used it to death. In 2007, took it apart, fixed the rust on the interior, built this current cage that it has so we could seat 7. Our family was growing and wanted to have a spot for all of them. The cage turned out really nice, as you can tell. It's one of the most unique features of the cage is the dash is integrated into the cage, ties to the floor. All of the seats are mounted to the cage. In late 2008, I hurt the small block 400 that I'd put in it. Didn't have any oil pressure in it, so decided it was time for bigger and better. Bought a 6-liter, put a Whipple supercharger on it, redid the whole front of the Blazer, cage, coilovers, put a Dana 60 in the front of it. After I did the motor, built the front bumper for it, and then a couple of years ago decided it was time to step up from 37s up to 39s. So to put 39s on it, it required me to open up the wheel openings 3 inches to get the tires to clear without rubbing. And being the purist that I am, I have to keep the original body lines for the wheel openings. It took a lot of time, but most people can't even notice that it was done. But they have definitely been stretched 3 inches. Slid the axle back 1.5 inches, tires clear just fine. So we can't imagine not having it. We still use it a lot. All right, back on Bob. Time for him to run again so I can go play. If it ever cools down, that is. It is so dang hot. Had a little bit of a fiasco in the paint booth when we were painting this. Plastic that we used to mask off the body, it didn't hold the overspray from the paint, or from the base. So when Kendall went to spray the clear, all the base came off of the plastic. We didn't put the plastic on backwards. It was just a new plastic that the supplier wanted Kendall to try out. Well, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So, but we kind of salvaged the bedside the best we could, and it just doesn't look that good. So I want to sand and polish this. So yeah, there's just not much shine on here. Looks like it could be shiny. but it's just not. I'm just gonna take and sand it with some 1000, straighten out as much as I can, go down to probably 2500, and then I'll run the buffer over it and bring some of the shine back so it looks presentable. So that's what I'll do for the rest of the evening. So yay me. Yeah, I just want to use it, so. Okay, quick update. Got it sanded it with 1000 and then went to 1500. Feeling a whole lot better about the whole deal now. This is a lot of work, not something I enjoy doing. I'd rather be wiring something as much as, I mean, yeah, it's that bad. But anyway, so gonna go to 3000 grit on the DA, and then I have some 5000 and some 8000. And I'll take it out to 8000 and it'll save a lot of time with the buffer. So, but yeah, it's looking way better. Have it sanded out to 8000 grit now. I think it might be shinier now with 8000 than it was when we started. So should be pretty easy to polish the sand scratches out of it. So I'm pretty excited. I didn't think I was gonna be able to save this panel, but it looks pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with it. Get the buffer out and see what I can do. Okay, got the bedside all polished up last night. Back at it this morning. So you got light coming in through the skylight there. So I'm gonna get it all assembled. I got the tail light in there. Working on the side marker light. I had to fix this socket. It got pretty messed up when it got smashed, but it's working good now. I'll have to still build a new molding to go there. Yeah, I spent a lot of time trying to track down all the parts, but I finally found them, most of them. Haven't found the trim yet for this, so, but everything else. So, working on this while Kian's over here working on his project. Sorry, it's kind of loud. It's hot in the shop. We got both the swamp coolers going. So, he's up welding this plate in to reinforce the end of the frame.
Steering box mounts right there.
Yeah. So that one's in. This one still needs to get everything prepped on that side.
That's the plate.
And that's the plate. So yeah, we got plenty going on today. Got the front molding on. Upper pieces are on. Marker lights in. Tail lights in. Still can't find the trim for it, so ordered a new one. Next step is to make a new molding for this rear section. It got destroyed in the smash, so this is a 1/4 inch by 4 inch aluminum strap. So what I'm gonna do to start with is I'll take a sanding block and some 80 grit to make the finish on it more uniform and then clean up these scratches. Then it'll match these other moldings. Once I get that done, then I'll cut it to the exact size, and I'll have to put some bends in it like that. So you can see it's kind of bent to match the profile of the bedside. It's kind of a rounded shape. Same thing back here. So I just use the press and a couple of blocks of wood, and I just slowly bend it to get it to fit. I'll get that bent, get it painted, and get the wood grain tape in it, and that'll be ready to go on. And then we can finally get the rear bumper on and make it look like something. All right, I've got the other molding all put together and on. Looks pretty decent. I was able to get it bent pretty good, so now it's all sealed up tight to the body, so shouldn't be getting any crap in behind it. So that'll be good. Okay, next step is the rock slider. So this is a pretty simple piece, just a piece of angle and some 1.5 inch DOM, but it bolts to this bracket here that goes to the frame. There's one there, one there. And where those brackets go to the frame, they also tie up to the cage. This one goes up to the B pillar on the roll cage on the inside, bolts through the floor, and front one, it branches off and bolts both of these together. I did this way so it's a lot easier to get in and out of without having the trip bar right there. And then the magic piece that holds it all together is this piece of square tube. Right here it runs through the bottom of the bedside here, all the way through the rocker up to the front fender. The front fender actually bolts to that piece of square tube on the bottom. So that's what holds the bottom of the fender. So these holes right here go up into that piece of square tube. It's drilled and tapped, so that holds this all together. So with all that structure, this Nerf bar will actually hold the weight of the entire Blazer on it. You see it has plenty of rash from being used. I thought I might show you this. In this spot right here, this tube ended up being a little close to the hole. You can't really get a socket around the bolt, so what I do is I'll go to a header bolt. So it has a smaller 7/16 head instead of the bigger 9/16 head that a normal 3/8 bolt would have. So gives you enough room. Now with that smaller head on the bolt, you can put a socket on and have the socket clear the tube there. Couldn't do that before, so that's in. You can see even with that smaller socket, there's just barely enough room for it. So if you ever work yourself into a corner like I did there, there's a little trick to save you a little bit of time.
Oh, you better.
Hey, Tyler.
Hello. Not light? Oh, okay.
I'm so much help.
I know.
Good job, Aiken.
Emotional support.
Yeah, I'm here just to make sure the job doesn't get done wrong, you know? Here, help.
Okay, got the bumper on and got the spare tire and carrier back on. I just need to put the soft top on, change the doors to the tube doors, and it's ready to go play. That'll wrap it up for today. Till next time, remember, never confuse a single defeat for a final defeat. Thanks for watching.